Hello, everyone, and welcome to welcome to this very amazing event. Just to clarify, please can you hear me? If anyone can hear me, just indicate. You can unmute your microphone, or you can react, send a reaction, or just drop it in the chat box. Yes, I can hear you. If I'll be monitoring all those to get feedback. Anyone hear me? Hello. Hello, Celestine. Hello, Marvelous. Hello, our beloved speaker, Mr. Oluseyi Olaleye. Oh, thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome. How is everyone doing? And hope we're having a great time. It's Friday, it's the end of the week, and I'm sure we're looking forward to an exciting weekend ahead. And my God's grace is going to be one. And so we're going to do something here just before we start. We're going to have around the table. I'd love to hear from everyone. Just let us get to meet you. What's your name? What you do? And then in one word, how was your week? How was your week, right? So while we're doing this, we're also expecting more people to join the call, and then we can begin the program in full session. Hi, Naomi, you're very welcome. All right, so I'm going to start from Celestine Adeyeye. Hello, Celestine. Good evening. I really hope you're in a place where I can speak. If you can, would love if you unmute your microphone and let's hear from you. How are you doing? How was your week? What do you do inside? I would stop sharing my screen now.
Yeah. Um, Good evening, everyone.
Good
Can
evening.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I'm glad to be here. Um, uh, as you said, as you've been labeled on the screen, um, I'm a data enthusiast, data analyst, and my week has been fantastic. Let me put it that way. Thank you so much.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for joining us early too. Thank you so much, Mr. Celestine, an amazing data analyst who had a fantastic week. That is beautiful. I'm sure you're going to have even a more fantastic weekend ahead. All right. Moving on. Hello. Who else is here? Hello, Naomi. How are you doing, Naomi? How are you doing? So, I think you joined after I shared the format. So, I'm just going to say your name. How you doing? How's your week? What's you doing tech?
Hi,
So,
hi,
hi,
thank
Naomi.
and good
Good
evening.
evening.
My week was fine, we thank God, though we had this
Awesome.
downtime issue, but then it was all great to thank God. And how was yours?
Good.
Okay, sorry, I missed
That
out the
was my lord.
I'm
Oh, you said what?
and sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I said I missed out the part of what I do. I said I'm a cybersecurity consultant.
Oh my goodness, where's my reaction? Let's let's flood this place with where is it? I want to drop like 100 clapping emojis at the same time. That is
And don't
amazing. Great to
use
have
all
you
of
with
it.
us.
You need more of it. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. So glad to have you with us, Naomi. Welcome. All right then. Hello, Jethro. Jethro, I think Jethro was probably one of the first people to join this call. 4 5 Jethro joined for before the silence was here before 7. I think we should just start by appreciating Jethro. Just give Jethro a clap emoji or a party emoji right now. Just to appreciate him. Thank you so much, Jethro. Right, we'd love to hear from you, Jethro. How are you doing? What's your name? What do you do in tech? And how was your week? So over to you, Jethro. Hi.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I don't know, can you guys
Good
hear me?
evening. Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, I'm a product designer, a student
Ooh,
of Unilag. I have 2 years experience. Not really that experience, yeah.
experience is
So
experience.
yeah, yeah.
Own it, own it. Experience, experience.
Yes, well, yes. I'm a math student, math education. I'm in my final years now.
Ooh,
So
congrats, bro.
yeah,
Congrats.
thank you. Uh,
Wow, so glad to have you with us, Jethro. How was your week?
yes, it was it was it was somehow, yeah. I'm doing my teaching practice, so it was kind of, yeah, it was kind of stressful. The rain and everything that yesterday was tough. Everywhere was filled with
True.
water, so I don't know. We had to walk on water, but we're not Jesus, so we could not do that.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it,
Trust I'm
it
looking
was
forward
okay,
to
Sha.
your rest.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Glad to have you with us, Jethro. I think we have 11 people here. So just want to hear from probably one or two more people. I see we have Amos. Ah, Amos, how are you doing? So glad to have you with us. Good evening. If you kindly unmute your mic. Let's hear from you. How was your week in one word? What do you do in tech? And how are you looking forward to spending your weekend? So, Amos,
Right, good evening, everyone.
good evening.
Amos Sabitsuli. I work as a cloud infrastructure engineer at Core Technologies. That's
Hold on,
absolutely
hold on. Let's drop our emojis, guys. Cloud, did you hear that? Cloud what? I'm coming.
infrastructure engineer.
Cloud infrastructure. That's amazing. That's amazing. Glad to have you with us. Go on.
Yeah, so this week has been hectic for me because we had a lot of downtime and
Ah,
yeah, working overnight and sometimes going into meetings during the day. So besides the fact that the OEM decided to sly us, they didn't even respond to our ticket. That's Microsoft's. Very good job for them. Anyway, we were able to fix it. So it's been
oh
pretty
my.
calm the last 24 hours. So the weekend, yeah, I hope it's going to be quiet. And I don't have to join any meeting during the weekend. I want to rest.
Hopefully,
Thank you.
hopefully. All right then. So glad to hear from you, Amos. Amos is a great friend as well, and he's a very solid member of the DCLM Tech community. All right. So right on schedule, or 1 minute late, we're going to start by bringing up our first speaker, and just let us know that. Oh, I see some other people have joined us. Welcome, Meromosele. I see Victor Olufemi. So glad to have everyone with us. Welcome. So for those of us who time didn't permit to hear your lovely voices, please in the comment section we can hear your voice from there as well. So you can just check the chat section of this Zoom call and just drop there, your name. After your name, you can also drop what you do in tech, your role in tech. Or if you're not in tech, can also drop like what you do. I can just put tech enthusiast and then how was your week? And yep, basically. So I've dropped the formats in the chat section. Let's get that going for those who aren't able to hear the voices. In the call later, I probably would love to hear your voices, or there'll be a chance to hear your voices. So I'm going to move on now to introducing our first speaker. And just as a reminder of why we are here in commemoration of the Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And I'm going to hand over here to Naomi, who's going to be serving as a co-host, so she can take over and invite the first speaker to the stage. So Naomi Femi, glad to have you with us. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Ife. So good to be here. And good evening once again, everyone. So before we go right into the event of today, I would like to welcome us once again to this amazing CyberAware 2.0. It's a great time for us as tech enthusiasts and cybersecurity professionals, tech gurus, tech guys, and bros to gather together to share thoughts. And this is in celebration of the Cyber Security Awareness Month. And so it's a pleasure to have everyone here once again. And so the aim of this is for us to equip one another with essential tools and insights, and getting to understand best practice and how to evolve, how cybersecurity is evolving, and how we can mitigate cyber threats that comes our way daily. And I believe in the course of this session, we would learn one or two things, rub minds together, and we would have something to say, oh yes, I'm glad I attended CyberAware 2.0. And so if you know one or two persons that are meant to be here and they are not here, please just notify them so they could join us. And so together we'll learn and we'll be better for it. Thank you very much, everyone. As we move right into the first speaker for today, a few minutes. All right, so the first speaker for today is Oluwatomisin Ajayi. And Oluwatomisin Ajayi is an information security officer at FBN Quest Merchant Bank. He's responsible for developing and implementing policies and procedures to protect an organization. All right, so a minute. So I missed it up. We'll be having, apologies for that. We'll be having Olusheyi Olaleye as our first speaker for tonight. Hi, Ife. So Olusheyi Olaleye is a security professional holding a master's degree with distinction and first-class honors in computer science. He has extensive experience in infrastructure security operations, risk assessment, security investigations, vulnerability assessment, and penetration testing. He has a strong research background and has multiple publications in reputable cybersecurity journals. Olusheyi holds various industry recognized certifications and is an active member of ISC Square, CompTIA, and EC Council. I know a lot of us would be looking forward to writing some of these exams and having all of this. So please, with a warm welcome, electronic welcome, virtual welcome, please let's give a warm round of applause as we welcome Olusheyi Olaleye. Please, I want to say our applause. I want to say our reaction with our applause. All right, good evening, Mr. Olusheyi. You have the floor.
All right, good evening, Naomi. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening. Welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me. So today we will be having a discussion around social engineering. And let me share my slide shortly. All right, once again, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with us this evening and privileged to be among great minds. And I'm hoping that the couple of minutes that we have together will have a great time and we'll be more cyber aware at the end of the session. So today we are discussing a very important topic in cybersecurity, which is the subject of social engineering. So it's actually a great concern in cybersecurity. Today, technology has witnessed quite a lot of changes and developments, and softwares are not what we used to know. Today, we have great softwares, and security too, cybersecurity too has really advanced, gone from various stages. And but then there is still an aspect that still needs the human effort. Like people will say, no matter how strong your defense is, or no matter how great what you have built, be it the next unicorn or the next, the next great software out there, there's still people who use them. So in cybersecurity, we have a kind of saying that says even the stronger defenses can crumble when trust is exploited. So, and that is the subject of what we are discussing today, social engineering, like the human part of the cybersecurity, because it is the human that drive the system. It is the human that, at the end of the day, make use of the system. And in cybersecurity, we also know that it's easy to hack a human than to hack a system. And the reason is that people already have access. So why should you trouble yourself trying to hack the system when you can just add the human and then get access to the system. So social engineering is more about the human hacking. So you're trying to manipulate individuals into revealing confidential information and maybe performing actions that may, compromise security. So one of the key things that attackers exploit in social engineering, this aspect of hacking, is they exploit human psychology rather than technological vulnerabilities. So like I said earlier, today, in today's world, you have technological vulnerabilities and people can patch technological vulnerabilities like, okay, Microsoft, Google, various softwares that we use today, send patches maybe monthly or quarterly, or maybe when there's any vulnerability out there, they send a patch, they roll a patch out, and then consumers, deploy the patch and they apply the patch and they are good to go. But you can patch technological vulnerabilities, you can't patch human ignorance. So which is the reason for this kind of training, because it is the people that drive the system, it is people that use the software. Also, security isn't just about the systems alone, it's about the people who use them. So what do these people exploit in systems? So first, cyber criminals know the human psyche, they understand the human psychology. And what they tend to exploit actually is the trust in human. Like human being, we have the tendency to trust. I mean, generally we have the natural ability to trust people. Like, and almost everything we do today, whether going to work, I mean, you go to work because you believe that at the end of the month they will give you your pay. So you are using what you are using. I mean, there's an element of trust in what we do. So, and this is what the attackers leverage on, knowing that, okay, if human being naturally we can trust. So they try to, they understand the human psyche and they are expert in tapping into human emotions. So, and then today we see that it's quite difficult to detect a scam because, sometimes you can even mistaking a legitimate request for information, which you call the false positive cybersecurity. And then there are many techniques, there are many ways that attackers can combine, using these things, and at the end of the day, get to exploit the human. So, in the course of this uh, awareness session, we're going to be having practical sessions. I'm going to be showing us one or two things and how we can take control and do quite a number of things. So we have social engineering statistics here. 4 out of 5 cyber crimes committed involve social engineering, according to the Internet Crime Complaint Center, that's the IC3. So we see that 4 out of 5 cyber crimes, I'm sure we have had cases of, people, maybe you go to bank and then somebody will tell you, we say the complaint to the bank that, oh, somebody called me, they said they are from GT Bank, or somebody called me, they said they are from Access Bank, or maybe somebody's calling you that say, oh, you have won a lottery, or maybe, all these kind of juicy offers that people get today. So at the end of the day, we see some of these things, and many of all these things are not even reported. So we see that 4 out of 5 cyber crimes committed involve social engineering, to tell us the areas we need to pay attention to. So it's not really more about the systems alone, it's also more about the people, which is you and I. So what are some psychological principles that the attackers exploit? Number one, we see that there's this sense of authority, or maybe they ask you to do something. Oh, it's very urgent now. If not, your account will be blocked. They create this sense of urgency into people, and then they tell you that, oh, you know what, your account is about to be blocked, or maybe we're about to do this now, and then you need to act now. And then sometimes attackers can go further by establishing a social proof. First, they send a connection to you on LinkedIn or try to establish a relationship with you. Or it could be a form of reciprocity, like, oh, you know what, we appreciate you for engaging, or maybe for participating in an event. Maybe they found out that, oh, you participated in an event recently, and then so they are trying to leverage on that information. Or maybe because some people, they post everything online, and then they see that, oh, I just attended this, I just attended that, and then another just see something to exploit there, and then they just craft a message and then send it to you as an email that, oh, we're privileged to have you in our previous session. So we're doing giveaways for our people. So I'm just saying these are some of the psychological principles that these attackers use, to exploit people. And then lastly, yeah, you see the trust element. So pick my pen. So lastly, here we see the trust element, which is like it sits on top of all the psychological principles, because at the end of the day, you give out your information, or you talk to people, or we do the things we do based on trust. So, and attackers can combine some of these tactics, maybe authority and trust, authority and reciprocity. Just, they can go any length to ensure that they get what they want to get. So I have a recent case study here. And this case study actually came, there was one of my, a junior colleague that came to me, and then he said, "Oh, Mr. Sheya, I was, they hacked into my accounts, and they, could have something. I said, okay, what did you do? He said they hacked into your account. What did you do? And he said that he sent, like he posted on Twitter. So, the way it's popular now that they said, okay, if you want your banks to, respond to you very fast, go online and call them out. So he said he called them out on Twitter. And then all of these agents started messaging him, started sending him DMs that, oh, we are very sorry, so. And so before you know it, so this was the first kind of, like this first one was the first, message he got from one of those agents. You can see here, he's showing CUDA help agent. This is not actually from CUDA. This is not CUDA representatives. Actually, somebody who has created a parody account for CUDA, and is using it to mislead the public. So the guy got this message because he had called them out online. Oh, could I refund my money? Could I do this? Could I do that? So so proceeding to the next stage, which is the second case, you see the kind of a message that they've crafted out. Oh, welcome to CUDA Nigeria. What do you need help with? So they're saying. So the guy also responded and selected 5, which is report failed transaction. And then after doing that, it actually took him to the website that the attacker has created, which is this t.ly, something like CUDA.site. But it's actually not CUDA. So when the guy went to the website, he saw that it looked just exactly like CUDA's website, CUDA's web page, and then he began to interact on the website. He supplied his information, and that was how it was. It got compromised. His account got compromised, and he had to. There was a lot of battle and a loss of money. So this is just a recent. This one happened like last week. It's still, so these attackers are out there with different tactics, and this is one of the reasons why we are having this kind of, for everybody to be aware that cybersecurity is actually a thing now. So what is the impact of this on people? So we have the impact of social engineering. Number one, the mind factor. The mind factor. You can imagine that person that has lost his money, or that person that his account has been compromised, the emotional trauma that they go through during that period. Also, identity theft, financial fraud, and many likes what these people, what the impact could be on people, and also on organizations. We see it could go as far as financial loss and the like. So let's talk about the tactics shortly. What are the tactics? How do these attackers do these things? How do they, try to maneuver people to give out this information? We've seen a recent case study about the CUDA help agent. So the first one sitting on my list here is phishing, which is actually the most common form of social engineering. So we see here that the attackers, it involves sending fraudulent emails to people or fraudulent messages to people, and then trying to making them to provide sensitive information. So, sorry, need to close this. All right, so you see, every day we receive emails created from different set of people with the intention to scam us. Well, by the time we do a practical session, we will see how some of these things work. And then one important thing is that it is increasingly difficult to detect phishing emails nowadays, because in the olden days or in the years gone by, you will hear they will tell you that, oh, you look out for the grammatical errors, you look out for this. But today, with the advent of AI and all of these sophisticated tools that we have today, I mean, it's getting increasingly difficult to detect a phishing email. So we need to go the extra mile. We need to look beyond, the norms, because these attackers also, they are going beyond the norms. So, and then lastly, if you do not follow the rules of cyber hygiene, you can easily fall. Even myself, as a security personnel, I get a lot of these things, something's related to my work. Maybe they can say, oh, it's from CBN, this is from CBN, this is from, I mean, I quite receive some of these things. So if we do not follow the rules of cyber hygiene, we can easily fall. So when we receive an email, there are some things you must check. There are some questions you must ask. So number one, you look, okay, what is the sender's address? Where is this really coming from? Who is really writing to me? Who is the person writing to me? Do I know the person? You know, just like somebody calling your name from another door, and oh, you can hear the person calling your name, but you don't know it, and the person is telling you that you should open your door. So you need to be aware who the person is before you open your door to such a person. So the next question you ask is the sender email address logical? Is it correct? Is it coherent? Like, can GT Bank be sending email using a Gmail domain? Or UBA sending email with Outlook? Or maybe somebody has created now, this is kind of a top level domain. Yeah. So these are some of the things we need to look out for when we see these things. So let's examine this email together. So we see, I just got this email now from technical support, Google technical support, and then look at what it's reading. So you need to first verify the sender's email address. Like I said, you look at this, is it correct? Is it logical, and is it coherent? So this is coming from googlealert.com. Of course, this is not Google. And then, as you can see, where it's going to support at googlealert.com. So that means this person has created a domain with Google Alert to confuse people to think that it's actually coming from Google, that, oh, we are performing an upgrade or something. Now, by the time, look at the message you are sent here, please check the link to the company's new website, www.secpop.lsc. If you overhaul now, one of the things you need to do is that when you get a link like this, you try and overhaul the link. When you overhaul the link, it will actually show you the real destination, where it is actually going to. So you see that these guys, as just using hyperlink, kind of hyperlink and then spoofing to do this little thing here. This is the real address where it's actually going to. It says, you see that it's not going to the website that the person is actually leading you to. So those are the things we should look out for. Then, what are some phishing tricks today? So just for us to examine together, let's assume that, so we have a bank now, the name of the bank is dclmbank.com. Now, what are some ways that attackers can, mimic this entity? So we see that there are different ways they can do homograph. Now, this is actually dclrnbank.com. So that means they have registered another domain called dclrnbank.com. But somebody that is not careful, LRN is actually looking like M. And if you see this on your web address, you will think that, oh, it's actually DCLM, but you need to pay a close attention to it before you can be able to know, oh wow, this is actually RN. It's not M. So you get. So also character repeat. So a way to verify these things is just that you look closely. We should not just assume that that trust that we have generally, that tendency to trust. Try verify. Look at that link. Is it really going to where he's saying it's going to? And even at that, you can still be compromised. Like from the next slide I'll be showing us now. I don't know, can somebody answer, is this the real Apple's website? This is actually showing with https www.apple.com. Is this the real Apple website? I mean, can somebody help with that? Apple users. Is this the real Apple website? Of course, it's showing www.apple.com, but it is not apple.com. It is not the real Apple's website. This is actually an example of the homograph that I told us about in the last slide. So these APPLE they are not actually the normal alphabet. So because of the ways browsers translate URL, so these were actually written in Unicode characters. So the real address, let me see if I can pick it up. Let me see if I can pick that up. So the real address is actually something like this, www. This is what actually translated to that, to www.apple.com. So you can imagine, we are into something. So how can you mitigate? So actually, browsers nowadays would not allow this any longer because they have been updated. So, but if you are still using old versions of Chrome, old versions of Mozilla and the likes, you may still fall victim of these kind of things. So the next one is smishing. Smishing, very similar to phishing, but it just the means now that is different. So they send SMS to you. It's usually delivered, using SMS. So you get SMS on your phone that, oh, you've won something, or maybe you've won a package, or and come to think of it, next month November is Black Friday, so we should expect more of these things. That, oh, this also company is giving out discount and all of that. So you must be careful. And generally, as a general caution, um, most of these bad guys actually use what you call the URL shorteners as a common practice. So you get something like bit.ly, so that you won't really pay attention to where it's actually going to. But like I said earlier, try and verify. If you're on a mobile phone, before you click that link, try and hold the link, like hold it for a long time, so that the destination address, maybe you can hold it for 3 seconds or 4 seconds, depending on the technique, how your phone operates. So that will reveal the destination address. So phishing, a common one also is when you get a phone call. I mean, I've been in banks where I think I was in GT Bank someday, and somebody came and said, oh, they called him from a customer care agent called him and said, we are trying to upgrade and all of these things. And that was how the man was compromised, and they defrauded him of all that he had in his account then. So that is why banks also sensitize their customers today that we will never call you or ask you something via phone. So attackers could use the email, they could use the SMS, and air phishing, they could use the voice. So they are delivering it over the phone call, trying to pretend that they are your authority, trying to pretend that they are calling from, they are upgrading NIN. It could be anything, just trying to pretend to be something that they are not. So number one thing is, don't trust the other person that you are speaking to. We're still going to explore some of these things shortly before we go. Now, common phishing methods today with the advent of AI is, so we have the likes of the deep fakes, the deep fakes, deep images, and all of these things today. So it's very easy to create, to create voice calls to sound like somebody. I mean, the way I'm talking now, maybe if somebody record my voice and train it using an AI, there are platforms that can help you with these things. And then when the person see any other thing, you will be hearing it as if I'm the one talking, but I'm not the one talking. So AI has really assisted some of these things today, which is why we must also be at the top of the game. So the next one here is phishing, what we call the QR phishing. As a common practice today, we see that many people, technology has advanced. We don't want to type again. We just want to scan the QR code and then register and do what we want to do fast. And but then we see that it is actually very easy to exploit a QR code, because I can just like this, the link to this meeting today was not published until maybe like 30 minutes before the program starts. The reason is that people could just create another flyer. An attacker can just create another flyer, put a new QR code there, and then be harvesting people's credentials, and you will not know. Nobody will know. So using this, so very easy to do. We're going to just do a quick demonstration on some of these things before we round up. Catfishing, yeah, catfishing. This is also another method, another technique. So today, where everybody wants to network, everybody wants to connect, you want to increase your network. So people don't really care about who the other person is, who you are connecting with. And today, we see that there are several fake social network accounts. You go to LinkedIn, you see a lot of CEOs, a lot of MDs, a lot of CISODs, CIA here, CEO here. So, but then you can't really verify. You don't know who is who. Then you just see one. So people create some of these fake social network accounts, to contact people and to generate relationship. And at the end of the day, they exploit that relationship. So we see here some AI-assisted castrating tactics. You see deep fakes, deep fake audios, and deep fake videos. And I think I have a quiz here. Can somebody tell me which of these face is actually a real face? And if you get it right, I think I have a prize for you at the end of my talk, of my conversation, of our conversation. Can somebody tell me which of these is actually a real face? Is it A or B? A or B? the lady or the man? Which of these is a real face? Anybody?
Is
I
think A.
You think A? Okay.
Yeah.
Any other person? Any other? Or you can drop it in the chat box. Actually, Mr. Lanley should please help me. Marvelous, please help me pick the responses. So you can just drop it whether A or B is the real face, and then so 3, 2, 1, 0, 5. Okay, let me do 5 seconds. So I'll take it up later, and then I'll just pick like maybe the first 3, and they'll get their prizes. So actually, none of this is actually a real person. A or B, they are not real persons. So these are AI generated images. I generated these images with AI. Now you can imagine if we see somebody acting to be a CEO of a company, and I can generate a black person. So, unlike the usual, I'm sure maybe because I said AI, you were expecting it to be AI, to have that AI look. But AI has gone beyond that kind of thing. So these entities, these people do not exist actually. None of them exist. AI generated that. So what are some of the recommendations I have today? So number one, we should use our instinct, what I call the common sense. Caution is always the best defense in cybersecurity. To escape social engineering, caution is the best defense. Number two, verify. When you type any information, you must keep in mind that you no longer have control. Many things you share, even just registering online or just doing things, you must ensure you should know that as long as you send it out there, you no longer have control over what you share. Then on social network, before accepting someone as a contact, we're all trying to grow our LinkedIn, we're all trying to look for jobs, we're all trying to find ends means, economy, everything, things are tight, trying to make, but then, it's just some of the time I'm even thinking like, so some of those applications that I've sent, I don't even know whether they are even, whether it's a real person that is even sending whether I'm sending the application to a real person. Today, you see a lot of jobs online, you just send CV, you don't even get any reply, you don't know anything. So before accepting someone as a contact on the social network, try to validate that. Then lastly, do not give your name or personal data when you are receiving a phone call. It's not the best practice. So what you can do, always verify, validate, do out of band verification. So if the person is communicating with you, maybe via WhatsApp, you don't know if the person's account has been hacked. So, do out of band verification, like take that person out of that frequency, do a phone call. Don't call the person on WhatsApp. Try outside and then call the number, or maybe, or you could look it up online, check Google for the real customer care, support email, and these are some of the checks you can do. Then lastly, do not visit unverified links. And if you suspect a file or you've gotten a link that you don't know how to go about it, you are skeptical on what to do, you can just visit this link, www.virustotal. It's actually a threat intelligence platform. Visit the link, paste that URL there, and then it will give you an analysis using various antivirus engines. And there are several cyber threat intelligence platforms that you can use, but ViralTotal still, does this a little good. Then number two, here also verify the HTTPS, though this does not really apply. If I want to do this, this is very easy. So HTTPS today is not like a thing again. I can buy a domain. It depends on what I want to do. If I want to get you hacked, as an attacker, I can go the extra mile to ensure that I get the work done. Then enable multi-factor authentication. If the software has made provision for that, try your WhatsApp, do all those level of securities that have been made provision for. Do everything. And then lastly, before I round up, caution is always the best defense. So before you act, before you click, before you trust, first stop, think about it. This thing I'm going to do, who is actually receiving this thing? Who is getting this thing at the back end? Then you think about it. Then even after you've thought about it, you try and validate and see what is wrong. Then before I close up, I don't know whether I still have a few minutes. The moderator, Naomi, how many minutes do I have? I want to do a short demonstration.
I was waiting for you to round up.
Actually, I was waiting to do. I have a demonstration for the. Can I get 5 minutes?
Can that work in 2 minutes?
Okay, fine, perfect.
Right, thank you.
So let me just drop something. Let me just see what can I come up with. I hope you can see my screen. So, that's 2 minutes. So, all right. So, yeah. Let me take this up. So we're just going to do a kind of practice and see what is obtainable. Yeah. All right. So I think I can stop this slide. Okay. So let me pull up so these are some of the things. So depending on what we want to play with. So let me just let me go with which one? Let me go with Apple. Yeah, Apple. Oh, let me go with Twitter 16. Let's go with Twitter 16. No, I don't want OTP. No. Okay. Just for demonstration, and let's see what's obtainable. 1 more minute, this will come up. Okay. So 1 minute. It's establishing my tunnel. All right, so that I can get something like a response when you click the link. So yeah, it's ready. Okay, so I've been able to, so if I drop this link now on the platform, you can also try and, yeah. And let me see if I can drop it. Where's the chat? Okay. So as an attacker, so I can just send this. So of course, me sending this now to the chat, so you can just click, but then I know some people may be afraid to click. Let me just click my thing from here.
I was about to say
So
that.
let me, yeah. So yeah. So I can just, you can see the way it's looking, log into Twitter. Okay, it's looking like the whole Twitter. Not very cool. But somebody who's not very careful, you think this is actually going to Twitter. Let me say it's not a real thing. Let me just put password. You can also try it up from there. Let me put TCLM and then try to log in. No. So you can see that it's taking you to Twitter, like taking like it's Twitter, you're like, you forgot your password. No, I didn't forget my password too. But then in the back end here, me as the attacker, I already have your details. I have your profile already, Twitter username, and then the password that you inputted, DCML. So you can see how these attackers can, try to use a lot of tools which there are tools out there. So if I want to mimic, let me say, CUDA, anything, I can take my time to develop something that will work for that purpose. So yeah, you may be looking at it that, oh, the link is quite, so with the help of some of these URL shortener, where is it? I think I saw one just now. 1 minute, scroll around up 1 minute. Sorry, Naomi. Okay, yeah. So with this URL shortener, I can just shorten the URL, send it out to you, send that to people via SMS or something, or send it through email. So just small, shorten it. So
Make it look exactly like Twitter.
I get the, yeah. So, oh, this thing. Oh, bridges. Where are bridges here? 1, 2, 3. Can I see any bridge? Yeah, okay. Verify. Hope I didn't miss anyone. Okay, so that's just it. So yeah, so I have it here. I have the URL. Now you can see I have a QR code that I can send to people if that can embed in links and all that. So these things are actually quite easy to create, and then so it's not a rocket science to actually hack people. So thank you for having me tonight. I know we've had a great session together, and I've enjoyed myself too. So remember, caution is always the best defense. Before you click that link, stop, think before you act. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr.
All
Sheikh.
right.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I can take if there's
Mr.
questions.
Ashley, thank you so much for this insightful session.
Yeah, sorry, please. I didn't get that.
I said, thank you so much for this insightful session.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Let me see. Let me see. Did anybody get my question? Oh, nobody. Oh, nobody. Sorry. Sorry, nobody. Okay. Nobody. Okay. Ah, sorry. Maybe we'll get somebody to get the next question from the presenter, from the next presenter. All right. So over to you, Naomi. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for that. She dropped on the phone. I guess she's having issue with network. I think very much shape the time, right? It's a very insightful session. And I really love the fact that this session is recorded, right? So that we can still go back and watch the other session once again, right? All right. So is that a question? I see that you're raising your hand. So
Yes, please. I do have a question.
okay, good. So before I take your question, right, please, if there is any other question, please just signify by raise of hand or drop it in the comment section. All right. So please, if you have a question, please signify or drop it in the comment section. We'll take questions before we go to our icebreaker, right, and then we proceed for the second presentation. So it's going to be an exciting night, right? So let's just sit back and yeah. Okay, so someone said my mic is working. No, it's not seem to be working for
Sorry, your mic is not audible enough.
Hi, good evening.
I'm actually, yeah, please just make use of, I'll say my mic again, right? So, but nevertheless, please drop your question. What's your question? You can let us know your question again.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Sorry,
Good. So,
all right.
just
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. I don't know what happened. I just went off the call. Oh, great to have everyone here. It was quite an insightful session. Thank you very much, our speaker. And please, you can drop our questions on the chat box for us to respond to them. And before that, I would like one or two persons to give us a summary of what they learned from this session, one thing that stood out for them in the course of this session. I knew a number of us might be familiar with phishing before now and social engineering, but there were a number of things that stood out for me personally, and I would like to hear from us first. So who would go first? Christopher, do you mind sharing with us? Israel, Grace, anyone on the call? You can just raise up your hand and the floor is yours.
Yeah, sorry, Naomi.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think somebody wanted to ask a question. Why? I think before you joined back, somebody
Great.
wanted to. Yeah, so I don't know who that was. Maybe you can ask.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, you can go ahead with your questions while we wait for those that will give us nuggets from what they learned.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Hi, good evening.
My name is Abasene Sunday. It's been an insightful session, and thankfully I joined the time I joined, because I would have missed this session. A quick one, please. When the presenter was presenting, I saw something that some attack that I'm not very familiar with. I need to ask, in the world that we are now, AI and all, he gave us an example, two pictures. I personally was confused. How do you identify, how do you identify fake calls? How do you safeguard yourself? Let me in summary, how do you safeguard yourself against AI, induced attacks? For example, now someone is calling you, even on video calls now, there is how it can be done. It can be edited, and someone calls you, is pretending to be that person, and you would see the video, you would see the call, the voices, the synchronization is very much okay, and you won't even have suspicions to believe. How do you identify yourself in such scenarios? Thank you very much.
All right, yeah, thank you, Abasi. Yeah, so I think your question was very good. So actually, in the advent of AI today, so there are you can't be always like do the get the verification done perfectly. But then there are some things that you can do, just like the two images that I just showed too. If I was asked to pick, I will just pick one for picking sake. But then so some of the things that you can do to verify actually is to go the extra length. For instance, now if it is an audio, like you said, audio or video. I mean, don't just judge based on what you have, like at the moment. Like, okay, it's happening at the moment, and so and of course, if you are speaking with somebody, I mean, try and do like kind of out of band verification. It's like what works when you're having a one-on-one conversation with probably an attacker. And what an out of band verification means is that you are taking the person out of that frequency, and you're taking the person out of that frequency, and you know you are trying to maybe you look up the company online, or check just even with Google check. You can get the information about the customer support or something. Then you can also verify from probably those other people. So just take the connection out of that band to do your next level verification. And for the pictures, actually, it's very hard to detect, truthfully. But if you are establishing a connection on LinkedIn, I think one quick thing to know is I don't know whether LinkedIn has that feature where you can see when somebody has joined, like maybe it's a new join. I don't think LinkedIn has that feature. I don't know. I don't know. So maybe those who are very familiar. So yeah, I think you can also verify by checking. Okay, maybe if somebody just created the account, or you can check the person's post. Just try and do some of this verification. And then generally, there's also another website you can use to verify images. It's called Yandex. You can just Google it, Yandex. You can Google Yandex. So you can use it to verify images. So that Yandex will actually show you where similar images exist. So it's like the Google kind for image. So you can use that to verify, do image verification. So I think with some of these things, you should be able to, like I said, to mitigate the attack surface. So, but the best thing is do out of band verification. I hope I've answered your question.
All right, thank you
Please,
very much, Oluseyi. If you have more questions, you can drop them in the chat box. We'll reach out to Oluseyi, and then we'll drop the answers in the group. Thank you very much for that. So right now, I want to move to our icebreaker session. Just want to know if a number of us were very attentive, and then some questions will be asked. So I'll be sharing my screen now, and then it's a game. And so let's get our phones ready to win. I want to see who we get 15 over 15 as per tech gurus that we have in the house. Some people like Olushe, please don't participate. So you allow people like us to win the prize.
Why now? Why should
Thank you very much. We
I should also
appreciate
participate now, Naomi?
your understanding. Some people now like Ife, please.
Naomi, you can share your screen now.
All right,
Gladys accepted. Thank you.
please allow us win this game. People like us and people like Marvelous, please just drop your phone and just watch the flow. Thank you very much. So I believe everyone can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see.
So you can sign into slido.com and input CYBO01 or scan the barcode and to take you to the page. So I'd like to see people joining.
Doing that now.
You said?
Oh, I'm doing that now, man. Thank you.
Please, I ask you not to join. I'm pleading. So someone like me now can get 15 over 15. Marvelous, Olusheyi, please. Just watch the flow.
Yeah, don't worry. Hands up, Naomi.
Please, if it's a car they want to give now, please, I need a car. Okay, I can see Victor, Samuel, Jetro, Eremon, Sorry for pronouncing your name wrongly. Moshood. And where are the sisters now? My gender people, are they not here? Yeah, I'll take this prize home. I'll take it for the ladies. Okay, I think we can start now. All right, so get ready. Fastest finger, fastest and correct answer. All right, so I'm starting 0, 1, 2, 3. What is the most common method attackers use to breach organizations today? One, phishing emails, to physical break-in, unpatched software, insider threats. I know we can see the question. Pick the correct answer. A, B, C, D. Oh, great. Oh, great. 86%. Got that correctly. Second question. All right, so we're moving to the second question. Leadership board, Samuel. Samuel was the fastest correct answer. Nice one. Let's move on. Number 2, what is ransomware? A type of virus, a form of data encryption by criminals, a method of phishing, a network traffic monitoring tool. What is ransomware? Oh, great. Samuel, you are still topping the chat. Oh, Amos Lee. Okay. Next question. How can you identify a phishing email? It comes from a trusted source. It asks for personal information. It contains legitimate link. It has no grammatical error. We just learned about this. Everybody should get this correctly. Everyone should get this correctly. What happened to the other 25, please? All right. So moving on. Next question. Which of the following is a secure way to share sensitive information? 1, email without encryption, over the phone, encrypted emails through a cloud-based service without encryption. Which of the following is a secured way to share sensitive information? Okay. So 83 people went with the correct answer. Nice one. Amos, well done, sir. Amos Lee, good evening, sir. We'll share the prize together. So next question, what is two-factor authentication? Two password, a combination of a password and a code, an encryption method, a type of firewall. I like the way we are all concentrating. Good. Mostly we are friends, oh, we are friends, please. This our friendship is very strong because we have to share this prize. So next question, why is it most important to regularly update your software? A, to add new features, to remove unnecessary files, to ensure compatibility, to patch security vulnerabilities. Why is it important to regularly update your software? These questions are too soft. They should have given jam question. Now they'll carry my prize and go. Who said this question? These questions are too soft now. However, Mosley is my friend. Next one, what is social engineering? Expo. Hacking software, manipulating people to disclose info, physical security breaches, a form of encryption. What is social engineering? 100% must get this correctly, otherwise they'll pay me and they'll pay Oluseyi. Who are these 25 people? You're owing me. Okay. You must leave, my friend. Hi, nice meeting you. Next question. Which of the following is a sign that a website is secure. One, it has many hats. Two, the URL starts with HTTPS. It loads quickly. It has .com domain. Which of the following is a sign that a website is secure? It must be my friend. What should you do if you receive an unexpected email with an attachment from a known contact? Open the attachment, delete the email, verify with the sender before opening, forward it to IT. What should you do if you receive an unexpected email with an attachment from a known contact? Great. All right. Moving on. Question 10. What is the best practice for creating a strong password? Use a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols. Use your birth date. Use the word password in it. Keep it simple for memory. All of us, let's say the truth. We have used our birth date one time or the other. 100%. All of us are using our birth date.
No, I have never used it before. I disagree.
When you just started using Facebook when you were in secondary school?
No, I have never used it before for once.
Okay. Okay, let me agree with you. No problem. Move on. Next question.
Thank you.
Is that a Mosley? Because we are sharing this money together. Next question. What is the purpose of a firewall? A, to filter network traffic. B, to block all incoming connections. C, to monitor internal communications. D, to manage employees' permission. What is the purpose of a firewall? He must leave for president. Number 12, what is the risk of using the same password across multiple sites? It saves time, it's easier to remember, increases the risk of multiple accounts being compromised. No risk if the password is strong. I believe some people have done this same password multiple sites before. Okay, move on. Which of the following is a common sign of ransomware attack? Slow internet, unusual pop-up windows, encrypted files with ransom notes, blue screen of death. Which of the following is a common sign of ransomware attack? Which of the following? Moving on. Mostly okay. I was scared. Thank God. Moving on. Second to last question. What is the best way to protect your mobile device from cyber threats? Disable all security features, install security updates and antivirus, use any available Wi-Fi network, jailbreak the device. What's the best way to protect your mobile device from cyber threats? Okay. And so now the last question before we declare him as the winner. How can you reduce the risk of a data breach while using third-party services? Trust all vendors, review and manage permissions regularly, share all data with them, use weak password for easy access. How can you reduce the risk of data breach while using third-party services? And with this, we've come to the end of this quiz. It must be my friend, my very close friend, that will share the prize together. And Jethro, second in command, Victor. Well done, everyone. Well done. So we would communicate the prize to the winners. The first person is Amos Lee, the second person, Jethro, the third person, Victor Agbo, Thank you very much for participating. And to those that did not participate, thank you very much for those that are there. All right, so moving on. Thank you for your time. I'll stop sharing now. So we'll move straight into the next speaker, and that would be so our next speaker is Oluwatomisin Ajayi. Oluwatomisin Ajayi is an information security officer at FBN Quest Merchant Bank. Is responsible for developing and implementing policies and procedures to protect organizations' data and IT system. His role is critical in maintaining the organization's cybersecurity posture and responding to security incidents efficiently. So with a warm virtual welcome, please let's welcome Oluwatomisin Ajayi. Good evening, Oluwatomisin, you have the floor.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah. Well done. Good evening. I hope everyone can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So well done, Naomi. It's a wonderful privilege to be among the people of God this evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the DCLM Tech Community Cybersecurity Awareness Month celebration. And I think it's a wonderful privilege to be amongst you, to be sharing this. And I can see we have many gurus in the house. We have people like Mr. Amos. Can see him doing 100, and I said, okay, maybe Amos should even be the one taking this session. All right, so that on the side. So tonight I'll just be walking through a very key, important aspect of our lives as individuals, And the reason why I said that is social media, today, every one of us, we are in one way or the other, we all have one tie, one link, or either one relationship or the other, to social media. And that points us to the reason why we have to know, and not only know, we have to practice, and not only practice, we have to also teach others, how to be able to use this tool and how to be aware of the dangers that comes along with the use of the social media tools. So tonight I have a number of contents. First, I'll do a very brief introduction, quick facts, impact of social media, key risk of social media, data protection and encryption, godly principles on social media, risk of cyber criminal, defending against risk of cyber criminal, and a number of other items. So I would be very fast. I would skip some items because I saw that the first speakers made a lot of emphasis. It was as if we we knew each other's content. So I would skip so many of these items here. So a very brief introduction. Today, we live in a very increasingly connected world. And I also like to say a treacherous word. The treacherous word here, before using this word, I was very skeptical, about using the word treacherous, but that is the reality of what it is, The social media space is something else today. It's different from what it used to be, quite some years back when the whole social media thing started. And what we see is that data is constantly being generated. People's data about situations, data about life generally, is about generating of data generation. And today, even if you are going to start a business, the smart thing to do is to actually rely on data to make that decision. And that in turn make data like the new currency. It makes data information a currency, for many things today. And you would have heard them say, oh, they say this. Some people say data is the new soil. Some people even say data is the new crude oil. Some say it's the new gold. Whatever the case may be, we all know that data is very important. Data is important. And data is like treasure, And Jesus described how important, a treasure could be, and also we see that technology and internet has changed how and where we do businesses. Today, we have people doing businesses on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, people selling stuffs. And in turn, about 5 billion people use the social media today as we speak. And this is over 62% of the world's population. And this is not only in isolation. This also comes with the fact of what the scripture says in Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. It said, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the word and seal the book, even to the end of the time, and even to the time of the end. Many shall run through and fro, and knowledge shall increase." The advent of social media has made knowledge very available at within the twinkle of an eye. For you to learn anything today, just go to YouTube. You can find it there. Knowledge has increased, and so the danger has increased as well. So the business landscape has also changed. Virtually every young person today between the age of 12 to 50 have access to internet. They have access to social media. They have a Facebook account. They have a Twitter account, and this is exposure. This is exposure at the highest level. So briefly, let me just do a quick definition of the social media. I know we all know what this is. We all know what the definition of social media is. But social media is just varieties of technology that facilitates sharing of idea and information among users. And it's a means of communication. And as of 2024, 94.7% of users access chats and messaging apps and websites, following closely by social platform, which is 94.3% users. We can see that this is a huge number. And there are some facts around the social media that we'd also like to take note of. The first fact is that social media started out as a way of people interacting with friends, family, but soon expanded to serve many different purposes. In 2004, MySpace was the first network to reach 1 million monthly active users. Today, many of us don't even know what MySpace is. I can remember it was in the generation of MySpace, To Go, and all those social media messaging app. I think prior to that, people use Yahoo Messenger for chatting and all that. Then social media came in, that made that very easy. So social media participation exploded in years and followed entry of Facebook, Twitter, and now X. And one thing that we note, or that was very important to note, is that businesses start to adopt social media, to reach a global scale. We have companies running social media accounts. We now even have government running social media, government parastatals, Lagos State government, President of the United States, governmental entities running social media. And not to bore you with much of my facts here, I think I should just take a number of them. More than 5 billion people around the world use social media. The largest social media platform, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, WeChat, as we all know. And according to Global Web Index, 46% of the internet users get their news through social media. I think that's very key. 46%. I'm very sure that this number is more than this, but this is what data we are able to get, as we speak, as of the time when I was preparing this slide. So before I talk about the dangers, are there no positive impacts that social media have made in our whole life? Yeah, there are positive impact. I think I had spoken with people and I hear them say, "Oh, I got my job through social media. I just started the HR and that was how I got the job." You know, I've had some wonderful, great, amazing testimonies like that, from people talking about how social media have positively impact them, you know. And with great opportunities come great responsibility. Our use of social media must be guided and inspired by the Spirit of God. Today, we as believers, in the tech cycle, we must understand that we have to recognize that we now, as we exist in the body, we exist in the spirit, we exist in the soul, we now even exist in the digital realm. That's the reality of our world. If I would say that, you agree with me that we now all exist in the digital realm, because I don't actually need to see you. I could just go to your social media and check you out. I could remember trying to interview a number of people for a job, and the first thing that came to mind is, oh, let me meet these people. Let me know who these people are. And I just went to their social handle, trying to understand who these people are, their preferences, their likes. That is what social media is today. And herein lies the key impact of social media to our world. Herein lies the key impact of social media to our world. So there are a number of impacts. I'll just take a number of them, not to bore you with much details. First, we see that diverse platforms serve a vast range of purpose. There are different platforms for different purposes. We see the one that is strictly business. We see that of LinkedIn, strictly business, people putting their work profile, trying to sell themselves professionally and all that. We also see that of Facebook, connecting with families, friends, more of a more relaxed, I would say less professional social media platform. And we see people use them to find others around the globe, to share political views, share other kind of views. We see entertainers, the musicians of this world, trying to engage with their fans, politicians, trying to engage with the people, charity organizations, trying to engage with the donors. We see UN having social media accounts. We see businesses, we see social media become a marketing tool, even for businesses. And no doubt there are positive impacts. And we've even seen governments use social media to convey vital information, during emergency. I can remember during the time of NSAS, we had governments, politicians communicating to the people through social media. So social media has its own benefit. It has its own positive impact. It has its own good. But within the good, there are also some dangers that we need to beware and we need to be able to stay away from. And the one thing we would say is from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, you say, whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever you do all to the glory of God. In our use of social media, in our use of technology generally, it is very important that we make use of these things that God has given at our disposal for the glory of God, for promoting the kingdom of God and for promoting the glory of God. So let's move on to the key risk of social media. There are a number of risks that we have associated with social media, or shall I say number of danger. We see one, the risk of privacy. Two, the risk of mental health, the risk of exposure to harmful content on the internet. We also see the risk of addiction and time wasting. We see the risk of mind control. Mind control. It's a very controversial topic, but I'm going to talk about it. We also see misinformation and deception on social media. And it's my prayer that God will help us to actually stay clear from all this risk in Jesus' name. So I'll move on to the next one, the risk of privacy. Privacy. My brother has said a lot. The first speaker said a lot about privacy information. Information is gold. What I see today is I see a lot of people being challenged. Oh, what they want to steal about my information? It's just my name. It's just my BVN. Your information is very important. Your personal data, your sensitive data is very important. On social media, one thing you need to know is that malicious actors, hackers, cyber criminals, they try to target personal data for one thing, identity theft. They want to use your identity to do something malicious, or financial fraud. And social media companies also, we also see social media companies, they use variety of methods to collect users' data. They know how important data is, personal and both sensitive data. And there are types of data that the privacy must be protected. That's why you hear of Facebook being fined by GDPR. Those are countries that are very serious with their sensitive and personal data. And we just hear that GDPRs in Europe, fine them so billion euros, because of the misuse of such data. So let me define personal data and sensitive data. Personal data is any information that is related or identified to an identified individual, e.g., name, contact details, bank details, any information that is tied to a person, that if I get that information, I can tie it to someone. That makes it a personal data, And let me use this example of personal data, bank details, contact details, your home address. Those are personal data, BVN. Someone was making a joke in my team some days ago. He said, I see a lot of people on the internet. They'll say, when you ask them to call their phone number, they will not want to call their phone number on the internet or on social media. They say, but when you ask them to call their bank account number, they will call it because they believe that anybody can, send them money and all that. And my colleague was basically saying, he said they don't know that in a banker's perspective, by getting your account details, we've gotten all your information. Or by getting your account number, we've gotten all your information. So what am I trying to say? Personal data is very critical and it has to be protected. It has to be protected. We also see sensitive data. What is sensitive data? This is a more classified kind of data. It's the data that is considered sensitive, the data that speaks to ethnic origin, political opinions, trade union membership, genetic data, data about your health information, biometric data. These are sensitive data and they should be protected with the utmost security or the utmost control. Social media companies, they see the need of this data, and because of that, they specialize in collecting and storing personal data. Another thing is that we see the risk of data breach, identity theft, misuse of information. In a case that maybe, for example, malicious actors are able to hack a social media company, what they do is they're able to get your information. In some cases, they even get credit card and they use that to initiate transactions, that are not unauthorized transactions. So from the scripture, the lesson we need to take there in terms of privacy risks is that we need to ensure that we are prudent with our personal information. We don't just give information. At times, maybe you are somewhere and they say, oh, fill this form. You need to check and ask yourself, all the information they want to gather about me, is it really needed? Maybe you are attending an event and they're asking you your home address, they're asking you your BVN, or they're asking you need to check that is this information really needed, before surrendering such information to them. Also, we see from the scriptures, Proverbs 22, verse 3, it said, a prudent man foreseeth evil. And what does he do? He hideth himself. But the simple person, and they are punished. In how that can be interpreted to world is, we need to always foresee that, okay, this information, this data that is being collected from me, what are the negatives? Is it safe to release my data? Is it safe to give this data? In a case whereby it's not safe, let's hide ourselves, let's hide our personal data from sharing out there. I also see in our world today, we see people putting information about themselves on social media. Oh, I just did this, I just achieved this, I just, these are informations that are sensitive at times, and we need to be careful of the kind of information that we put there. Also, to ensure that we are not doing more harm to ourselves than good. Also, we see in Genesis chapter 41, verse 39, this was Pharaoh. He was talking to Joseph, after Joseph interpreted the dream. Pharaoh used a very sensitive word for Joseph. He said, "For as much as God has showed thee all these things, there is none discreet and wise as thou art." Discreet means ability to keep information, to protect privacy, ability to be reserved. As believers, we need to have that mindset of being reserved with our information. We don't just share it anyhow. We are wise like Joseph. And I pray the Lord will help us in Jesus' name. So I move to the next slide, risk of mental health. In this part of our world, mental health is something that we don't really pay attention to. And it is important to know that even God pays attention to our mental health. He wants us to be in good health, in full health. And that's why he said in 3 John 2, he said, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth." You see that God himself promises us overall health, which includes mental health. And how do people put themselves at the risk of mental health today? You see that one, they are reviewing other people's social activities and saying, why is it that they like his own picture, they don't like my own? And why did this person like my post, but the other person did not? Those things, they are things that we occupy our minds with, and we are thinking, see, we occupy our minds with, and we are comparing each other. They say, oh, and because at times we see people searching for validation on the internet. They are trying to search for validation. Nobody's liking. I got only 30 likes, and all these things have conscious or subconscious impact on our mental wellness. So one thing we need to beware in this aspect is we need to beware of constant comparison with others. We should not compare ourselves with others. We should only compare ourselves with Christ. We need to, because when we do this, when we compare ourselves with others, it builds insecurity within us, it builds anxiety, and it also builds depression. We should also beware of unrealistic standards. Some people say, "Oh, I did this, I traveled here and there, and because of that, you want to feel intimidated." No, we should beware of these unrealistic standards and pressure, seeking for validation. We should also beware of carnal comparison. And that's why 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 2, says, "For we dare not make ourselves of the numbers, or compare ourselves with some others, commend themselves, but they measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise." Let's be wise. Let's not compare ourselves with one another. And let's also, as first members of the tech community, also sensitize people in this aspect. Also, we see risk of exposure to harmful content. The social media today is filled with harmful content. You hear people say, "Oh, paying tithe is good. Paying tithe is not scriptural. Praying tithe is this. Oh, this is not good." Confusion here and there. And this also attests to the fact that we're in the end times. We need to ensure that we are careful. We are not exposing ourselves to teachings that contradict the true teachings of God that we already know. And we need to be your spiritual poison. Today we see this apostle is telling you this: if you want to get married, this is how you should do. Another one is telling you that, oh, this is how you should do. Another one is giving you a total different view, of different teachings, and this could build up confusion. So we should be off any form of, and that's why people are confused. People don't even know what to choose, what to select, what to do. Also, exposure to dangerous and provocative challenge. You see people say, "Oh, this hashtag, hash challenge." You see some people hash drinking of alcohol, hash drinking this, hash doing that. All these challenges, all this, that they are inappropriate. It is very essential that we beware of them and we are not part of this form of challenges. Also, exposure to harmful content and evil communication. The internet today is filled with evil communication, inappropriate violence, immoral materials, pornographic materials, exposure to cyberbullying, negative influence, cultism, and prostitution. We have so many of them on the internet, and we need to ensure that we beware, we don't allow, we guide our hearts and our mind according to Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23.
Hi, Mr. Mr. Thomason.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
evening. Well done. Please, can you help us move
Yeah, the
fast?
time, right? Okay, yeah, I think that I
Very
understand.
much.
All right, yeah. Okay, so one thing we need to know is that social media does not forget. Everything we do, all our activities are being stored somewhere, in a computer that, in a server that we don't even know about. Also, we see the risk of addiction, you know, time wasting. We all know that social media, when you log in, it's easy to log in, but to log out could be a challenge. And it is very important that we beware of this risk of addiction. Also, the mind control. What we see today is a lot of mind control strategy, on the social media today, and the challenge with this is it's very subtle. At times we don't even know that these controls are there. Someone somewhere is trying to re-educate you, trying to change your mindset. We need to ensure that we renew our minds regularly. According to a a, a an article on Yale, it talked about social media has gone from techno-utopian to dystopian weaponization. That today we have people weaponizing social media to actually manipulate the mind of people. Time will not permit us. I would have liked us to check this video, but I think I can send the link to the chat so we have a view of the video. It just illustrates how some certain level of people, are trying to use the social media to manipulate the minds of people, to drive them in a particular direction. Also, we see misinformation and deception. Our brother earlier has mentioned a lot of things about deep fake, deep audio, fake videos. Today with the emergence of AI, people now use social media, they use AI to manipulate, to misinform people, and to create that deception. According to statistics on Pew Research Center, a large percent of Americans, get their information through smartphone. And that is also the case in our world today. So what are the godly principles on cyber safety? I'm trying to move very fast. One, we see that we need to understand that on the social media, there is war between truth and error, life and death, righteousness and unrighteousness, heaven and hell, grace and gracelessness, good and evil. It's important that we protect our privacy. Also, we have a right to privacy under the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation and the Nigerian Data Protection Act 2023. We have a right to privacy. Do you know that under that act, you are not even allowed to share children's information without consent from their guardians? So also we see practice discernment on the internet. We don't just do anything anyhow. We practice discernment. We check, we validate, we trust but verify. Also we say beware of deception. The scripture says, prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. It is very important that we practice this principle to help us to stay safe online. Our brother has said a lot on this, but let me just mention a number of things. Risk of cyber criminals. We need to know that there are cyber criminals online. And what's the aim? The aim is to steal. To steal. According to John 10:10, he said, the thief cometh but to what? To steal, to kill, to destroy. They want to steal your information. They want to use it for something malicious. It is very important that, and this could be identity theft, it could be scammers, wanting to get money from you, cyber stalkers, phishing, they want to get your personal information, and all this is geared towards stealing information from you. And that is why we all need to be prudent. How can we protect ourselves against these cyber criminals. Our brother have mentioned a lot on this. Secure password, MFA. Today I see a lot of people on their WhatsApp, they've hacked their WhatsApp. And I just feel, oh, I wish this person know that they could actually use an MFA. If they had used an MFA, it wouldn't have been possible for those people for those malicious actors to hack their WhatsApp. Always update your software. Be prudent with your identity, BVN, account number, any information that can be linked to you. Be very prudent with it. Do not provide all information if it's not required. Beware of malicious emails. Verify sender. Our brother mentioned a lot on that. I'll just take a very important part of it. Practice an act of concealment. Concealment is security through obscurity. Don't just post everything about you online. By you posting everything, posting this, posting that, you are not even allowing the malicious or cyber criminals to labor before getting your information online. Our brother has explained what we call social engineering. So we need to practice security by obscurity, not just putting everything online and all that. Also, we see current and emerging cyber threats. We see AI attacks, ransomware evolution, phishing, and social engineering. Those are the emerging ones. As our world is changing, we have more of these threats and we need to beware of them. More sophisticated threats due to the advent of AI. Career opportunities in cybersecurity. Today we hear people, I want to do programming, I want to do AI, ML. There's a ton of opportunity in cybersecurity, and I'm taking this opportunity to invite you to be a cyber warrior. All right. So many opportunities and skills required and all that. We have cyber engineer, cyber security analyst, cyber security auditor, and many more. Before I go, I'll leave you with a number of things. In summary, the internet, social media was originally founded on the principle of trust, but human moral depravity have turned it to a trustless environment. One thing you should go with, be sober, be vigilant, on social media, beware of adversaries, beware of people looking to prey on people's information. Be prayerful, be watchful, be sober, and most importantly also, be discreet. And God will help us as we navigate through the social media space. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you for listening. I would like to take your questions and answers. Thank you. That will be all for now.
All right, thank you very much. I can see your name is Mr. Peter Ajayi. Thank you very much for this insightful session. We really appreciate it. Please, if you have any questions, you can write them in the chat box, respond to them on the group because of time. And right now, I'd like to hand over to Marvelous, the host, the main host and convener of this session. Hi, Marvelous, you have the floor. I think someone's mic is not muted and is echoing.
All right, thanks very much, Naomi. On you. Is all right. Okay, so it was an insightful session this evening that we learned about cyber security, how we can be cyber aware, secure our world, everything around that, right? So it is very, very important also that we thank God this session is recorded, right? I think it will be uploaded or shared, and we can go back to it, and refreshing, especially that session where Mr. Tomisi, shared some deep insights. The slide is well loaded, with lots of scriptural references, how a Christian can be cyber safety, as a Christian. Very important subject. It's just that time is not on our side, right? I knew we must have really dealt, deep into the subject matter. And looking at also what Mr. Shea also spoke about, people that came late, for this meeting must have missed a lot, right? we ran a simulation test, where it shared how your data can easily be collected if you click on any phishing links, how to identify phishing links and all of that. So this and more is what this community we always, always love to let everyone know. We will ensure that before the end of this year, we have another webinar again, right? Just to make, create an inclusive environment for everyone, right? This is for everyone, either you're in cybersecurity or not, it's your safety, it's your data. You have to learn how to secure it, how to, save it well. And for the cybersecurity awareness month also, we'll be sharing a lot of daily cybersecurity tips. It's very important that you also help, to spread this gospel, right? And also, please ask questions when it's not clear, right? That is the essence we want to share. We want to share our, insights with everyone, so that no form of attacker or whatever, will coming from the community. And then from our day-to-day today work and what we do, there are things we'll see, and these will help us on how to overcome them. Some of these challenges, very, very important. So please, thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. Thank you also for the moderator, that's Naomi. Thank you so much, the hosts, Mr. Oluseyi Olale and Mr. Oluwatomi Sinajayi. All right, so we believe that subsequently, we get to share more deep insights on some of our, cyber securities and things happening around us. All right, and also to help the community also. All right, thank you so much for your time, everyone.